What's up, G.I. Joe fans? Welcome back to the M.I.B. Master Museum. I'll be your curator today. Guys, we got a little cool one for you today. One that I was in our archives today and came across all the way from 2003. We bring you the G.I. Joe Desert Operations Seal. Let's bring this guy in. This was a figure that I picked up at Walmart back in 2003. And what jumped out at me about this particular figure was the color scheme, the brown and the black. And this beautiful, beautiful machine gun with a silencer on it. And I said, man, this is a basic carded figure that I only paid about, I believe, $18 for, $19 for, all the way back in 2003. And once again, guys, I was on a mission to collect every single G.I. Joe during that time period. So very few G.I. Joes got left on toy store shelves when I visited the toy store. I absolutely positively had to have all of the G.I. Joes from that time period. So let's bring this guy down. Get a closer look at him. Beautiful head sculpt. And we talked about Hasbro really working with their cheaper, I should say their cheaper line of figures. So they targeted more G.I. Joe collectors and parents that wanted to buy G.I. Joe, but the problem was G.I. Joe was very expensive. So Hasbro actually kind of cornered that market as well. They made a more cost-efficient product line of G.I. Joes that would cater to hard-working parents that simply didn't have, $50, $40, $50, $60, $70 in some cases to spend on an action figure or even an action figure set from G.I. Joe. So Hasbro had thought of everything. And these figures weren't really mass produced in a high volume. Not a lot. This particular figure was so far under the radar, that he was barely in the stores. So he was there for a little bit and he was gone. So I guess stores like Walmart and Toys R Us, probably they didn't order a lot of these guys for their stores, for their store locations. But as collectors, we know exactly what that pretty much accumulates into. That pretty much turns this particular figure into a very hard to find, very rare, very, very sought after, very desirable, all those things on a collectability level. That's what the Desert Operations Seal pretty much was. It's got the gung-ho grip hands. And just because he was a basic carded figure, you can see the molded plastic torso that we talked about, and just with a beautiful paint scheme. But this figure, just because he was a basic carded figure, his gas mask didn't make him any less quality wise compared to the more deluxe box G.I. Joe figures of that time period. I mean, this particular figure could hold his own against any of those figures. I mean, he was made and constructed just as beautifully, with just as much precision and care as those deluxe figures were. He just came on a carded figure, just a carded box, I should say. Cart version, I should say. Bear with me, guys. Let's turn this guy around and check his back out here. And this is how he looks when he's got his. Let's get you a blown out shot. There's this backstory on a Desert Operation SEAL. Super cool. That's how he looks with his helmet and his gas mask on. And it tells you why he has that. Why they use those gas masks. All that great stuff. And you know, everybody knows the Navy SEALs are no joke. They are the best of the best of the best of the best. These guys are elite in every sense of the word. Let's get you a year. Yeah, 2003. There you go. This was the next one that was up. The Underwater Demolitions Team. Hasbro. So you can still join the Collectors Club. Let's turn this guy around. Get you another. The collectors love the close-ups, especially if they don't have particular figures. That's why we try to keep all of that in mind when we're doing these videos here at our M.I.B. Master Museum. We want to get all of the close-ups for you. Once again, you have another figure that didn't come with a lot of cloth. He's got his boots on. The only cloth material was his pants, and everything else was molded plastic. Oh, here on the side of the box has his equipment list. Not a lot, and yet you got a lot. And you're talking about a basic carded figure that, you know, came with its own fair share of equipment and accessories. I mean, what more do you need? Machine gun equipped with a silencer, gas mask, awesome outfit. He's got his helmet on, gung-ho grip hands, really cool camouflage pants and boots. What more do you need? But this is another reason it was so hard for G.I. Joe collectors to try to track down all of these figures. It was so difficult. Let's bring this guy back down. It was so hard for G.I. Joe figures to really collectors to try to track these guys down, because there were so many of them out during the I want to say early part of 2000s, from 2000 to 2004, almost 2005, when Hasbro ceased production of the 12-inch G.I. Joe figures. There was, I mean, tons and tons and tons of these guys out. Just when you think you have the entire collection for a certain year for G.I. Joe back then, one of these guys would come out of nowhere, would show up at a toy show or on eBay or Amazon or somewhere like that. He said, I've never seen that guy before. I thought I had all of them. Which made collecting and being a collector that much more fun with G.I. Joe. There's simply too many of these guys out there, you know, and that's what makes it fun. you know, as large and as massive as my G.I. Joe collection is, and I have a massive collection here at my museum, I don't have all of them. Beautifully done. Guys, we've got more exciting videos headed your way. Stay tuned. Run to the kitchen, grab you something to drink. Hop on the couch, kick back and relax, and tune in to the M.I.B. Master Museum. God bless. And keep collecting.